Good morning everyone, my name's Mike, the Senior Termite Manager for Ecofriendly Pest Control. We're here in Carsile today, one of our regular general pest clients. He wants a barrier put on his house. There's no active termites on the property, but we're putting a termite management system in place today. If you'd like to follow me, we'll show you around the property. So this property today has an exposed subfloor, which means that there's no barrier around the house, so there's airflow that can get through underneath the house. We'll be spraying underneath the house, but also around the perimeter of the house as well. This is a high-risk property for a few reasons. There's some high-risk areas around the house for termites, so if you follow me again, and we'll show you those areas. So the first high-risk area here today is all the wood chips that are around the house. They're very close to the timbers. They were on inspection underneath the house, and we've asked the client to actually drag them underneath the house forward. The wood chips were getting quite wet with the lawn sprinklers. I have advised this client to replace all the wood chips with a pea gravel or some sort of stone. The stone won't attract moisture and will keep that area dry. So another high risk area we have are these front timbers on the fence. You can see they've been placed straight into the ground, and again the moisture from the lawn on the sprinklers on the bottom of the timbers here. And while they haven't been getting eaten by termites, you've had wood rot occur. And if you can see there, I can just move the timbers slightly. So you've had wood rot on the timbers, which is causing the decay of the timbers. So what we're going to do today is we're going to spray around the timbers, but eventually this fence will have to be fixed. Okay, let's go and have a look at some other high risk areas. So again, we've got wood chips here. We've advised the client to get rid of the wood chips and put some sort of gravel there. One thing that the client has already done, if you come over here, there's been a retaining wall of sorts put in of tin. Now that's a good idea. What it does, it stops any soil or any wood chips or anything falling against the timber. And what we want with all the timber poles, we want airflow around them. If you don't have airflow around them, then there's a possibility of getting wood rot, and then that's when the termites attack. So what they've done here is a good thing, putting that retaining wall against there to stop any soil or wood chips or even anything else falling against the timbers. So let's go and have a look at the rest of the house. Again, high risk areas like out the front, timber that's in the ground causes wood rot, which causes the termites to attack. So we're going to treat all these timbers that are in the ground. If you'd like to follow me outside. Now this particular property has a timber fence, and as you can see, more timber and ground contact. Especially bad here because you have the wood chips and the sand on the outside. You can see the water damage on the bottom of the timbers there. Conducive to wood rot and conducive to termite attack. And it's the same all the way around. You can see here especially. The timber is dug a few inches into the ground. So when the sprinklers are on, it gets wet, conducive for termite attack. We've advised the client to at least try and get that wood chip and soil away from the timber to get airflow around that timber. So as much as we're treating the house today and we're doing the subfloor and we're treating the areas inside the property, it's very important to look on the boundary of the property, and especially on the outside of the boundary of the property. You can't always do that with properties next door, but on this situation, it's quite fine. So we go on the outside and we'll treat all the way down on the outside of the property. Okay, so let me show you on the outside. So we'll be treating all along the perimeter. Again, we've advised the client to clear some of that soil and some of the wood chips off. But where the timber actually meets the ground, that's the high risk area. So we'll be treating around that. It's the same all the way around the property. Around the front, it has quite good airflow all underneath the timber, but again, it's where the timber hits the ground, that's most at risk. Especially when the lawn sprinklers are on and it gets consistent water all the time. I'll just show you the front of the decking now. And we stated previously that the wood chips were a bad idea, holding moisture in. So what's been happening here, because the sprinklers were so close to the timbers, the sprinklers are facing forward, but you always get that side movement of the water and a bit of moisture has been coming up and it's been wetting the front of these timbers. So I've advised the client to move the sprinkler to the lawn to get it away from the timber. And you can see the damage that's been happening all the way through. He's only recently put these pots in, which is a bad idea because it also keeps the moisture in. So you can see the damage. This is all water damage, which is conducive to wood rot. And again, if you have wood rot, it's a conducive element for termites to attack. So the client on this instance is actually going to replace all this decking, all the way around and all at the front. So let's now go and have a look of how we treat the subfloor. Follow me. We're now at the back of the house and we'll show you how we do the spray underneath. This is Brendan, one of our valued workers. He does a lot of the trenching and a lot of the work involved in doing these subfloors. So just come with me. So we spray underneath the house. We take particular attention to the timbers, make sure we spray the timbers well, and we spray around these plinths. This house is a bit unusual. It actually has concrete plinths, which is a good thing. It stops termite attack. It doesn't stop the termites from making their trail up the concrete plinths and into the timber of the house. So we need to spray around those plinths very well. We spray the subfloor itself, the timbers, making sure that we get both sides of the timbers in all areas underneath the house. The soil areas, as we're coming out, the areas that we've been, we spray the soil as we're coming out, making sure that we soak that well. So if you come here, this subfloor is a little bit narrow, but it's not too bad. What we've had to do is we've had to dig just a small trench to get access all the way through. So Michael, who's underneath now, has got himself all the way through to the end, and he'll start spraying as he walks himself back. Once we've done this section here, then we go to the following section over here. So we do it in section by section by section to make sure that all areas are covered well, timber and the sand areas all together. You can see all the concrete plinths there. It's very good. There's a timber one there still left over, but the majority of them are concrete. So Michael's underneath the house now, as you can see. He started from the far end and he's now working his way back. So you can see that he's spraying all the timbers, giving them a very good soak, taking particular attention to the plinths and making sure that he does around the concrete plinths very well. This is all to Australian standards. There's a certain amount of litres per square metre that we have to use, and we also have to go around each and every plinth. front and back. So he's spraying it and working his way back. And once he's done this section, then he'll go to the next section and then to the next section after that to make sure we get full coverage underneath the house. And once you finish underneath the house, then you'll go around the perimeter and do the perimeter.
And how many roughly liters going to be used today?
This house here is approximately around about the 1100 litre mark.
Okay.
So we've finished the termite management system here on this house. It's been an exposed subfloor, which means it's been exposed on the side, airflow can get underneath. So we've done the complete spray. We've also advised the client there's been a lot of high risk areas on the site for termites. So we've identified those. We've given him recommendations to treat those areas. It's been a very good job today. If you do need any inspection done on a house of a similar type, or you need a termite management system in place, feel free to call Eco-Friendly Pest Control. We'll help you out.